Okay, we are on the east side of the house. The house faces north. This is the fence. This fence is kind of, I really don't do fences, all right? But this fence is kind of unusual in that the latch is only on this side. So you can lock yourself into your backyard, but you really can't lock. I mean, you'd have to put a lock right here to lock somebody out. You couldn't lock the fence from the other side. So it's wooden siding. There's a masonite siding. They've gone in, they've done a lot of work here. These nails, there's nothing wrong with them. The manufacturer doesn't have a problem with these nails, but the manufacturer thinks that these butt seams, that they should have been primed, and they weren't. So the water's getting in there and it's causing all kinds of trouble. There should also be a flashing tape behind here. Flashing tape wasn't installed. I've seen flashing tape maybe. I wish it happened more often. I wish it happened more often. So we're coming on down. Some rain gutters are below grade. Moving up. Let's just come down here for a moment. This top step is too high. It's not dimensionally uniform with these steps. Alright, and you can tell that they've added to it, you know, so subconsciously you think you're going to make the same step and then you trip. Coming on along, this is all of our apron boards, and this is all going to be called conducive to wood destroying insects, even though it's hardy board. And it was designed, this house, okay, this is a little craftsman type, you know, prairie style traditional home, and that's the way we built them. That's just the way we built them. When this home was built 100 years ago, there was no such thing as building codes. I think there was electrical codes. Maybe. They certainly weren't in Texas. All right. So craftsmen built these houses. All right. And now we come in. We've added this porch on here, so I don't even know how it was built. But where the wall meets the floor right here, we should have a weep screed. A gap goes across there so that any moisture gets into the wall can escape. And we do not have weep screeds here. And again, 100 years ago they weren't required. And then again, you know, they might have been there, but they put this in here, but you don't have any now. So that's where we're at. Now coming up here on the roof, I'll get another roof video. If you can see that plumbing pipe up there, see that plumbing pipe? It's supposed to stick up 6 inches above the roof. Alright, and it's supposed to be painted. And the rain gutters should not divert water right directly onto the roof. We got a little bit of sumping right here, something like the roof deflection. A little bit of sumping where we got the span for the porch. These two sides, they're a lot more narrow. We don't have sumping. When we lost our support in the middle, it's sumping there a little bit. These paving stones are not dimensionally uniform. Granny might trip on that. So you might want to hold Granny's hand when you're doing that. Wood mulch next to the structure underneath the drip edge line. This is conducive to wood destroying insects. Where do termites live? In the ground. Oh. What do they eat? Dead wood. Oh. What's wood mulch? Dead wood on the ground next to your house. That's called a clue. That's called a clue. These steps aren't very dimensional either, by the way. These paving stones, remember Granny, below grade. And again, paving stones. This water faucet leaks. See the water in there? It drips. See all the rust? It leaks. Coming on along, this is on the west side. This is where one of the crawl space openings is. Along, there's our condensing units. We got a video for them. Electric service panel, we got a video for them. We do not have in-use covers, little bubble covers that fit over that for our electrical. And this is not GFCI protected. These are gas piping coming into the house. I don't see any electrical bonding on it. Again, 100 years ago. That's the only shut-off valve for the gas piping. That's the only one right there. And then, it would be nice if you had one on the other side. And then this pipe is painted where it goes into the house, but it should be better painted. See where the rust is forming on the elbow right there? Right there, it should be painted. Hot. Hot. Vents touching. This is sewer clean out. Alright, you got another main sewer clean out in that opening over there. Paving stones. Now this walkway, this is not an attached patio. This is beyond the scope of this inspection. Alright, but we do have some movement. It is not dimensionally uniform. It might be a trip hazard. It might be a trip hazard. The planter box is kind of cattywampus, isn't it? Okay, now we're coming along here. What we did is we painted our patio deck. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Alright, you might as well just take a jar and turn it upside down, a glass jar, take the lid of it off, turn it upside down and put it over the ground, and the moisture will come up inside of the jar and collect. Alright? That's what this deck is. We do not have any ventilation. Wood to ground contact, no ventilation. And when they painted it, instead of staining it, now this is just encapsulated because this is cellulose material. And this would dry out if you would. The wood would dry out. Except that we painted it. And I know. My wife painted our deck. And I said, honey, you don't paint it holds the water at. She said, who's doing this? I said, you are. And I would never tell my wife I told you so. But sometimes, this time, she says, Bud, you warned me it only lasts a few years. And it started going. She was trying to preserve it by painting it. She had the best intentions. Okay, so now we come across here and we have our upstairs balcony. And our posts are within 8 feet. This is a good thing. This is called checking. That's natural. Okay. This plug is not GFCI protected. This receptacle outlet doesn't have a in-use cover on it. Door has a dog door in it, and we've got air gaps on the door right there. Okay, so we come along here, but what I was trying to get is they put this nice blue band underneath here. And it was probably a pretty good idea because it's probably easier to do that than to install the patio deck properly. And now the deck connections are conveniently hidden. Okay, so I think I see, if I use my forensic imagination, that we actually have a ledger board underneath there. We don't have any ledger board flashing. We got a hanger there, and we don't have a hanger here, so we're missing some hangers. We don't have a hanger there. So what I'm going to do is put some more nails in it? Yeah. So that you destroy the board? Oh, that part? We only got one hanger? Why do you have one hanger? Why was that? So it's not flashed right. It's not properly attached to the wall. It does not appear to have been properly attached to the wall. This arbor is beyond the scope of the inspection. It's a little manufactured aftermarket thing. So just moving on along. And where this is beyond the scope, this is on the scope, and I can feel some bounciness on here. No ventilation, wood to ground contact. Thank you, termites. No ventilation. Thank you, termites. They painted the surface. It's not going to last very long. Moving on along, I'm not seeing, and one thing I wanted to look when I came around, make sure I got my P's and Q's right, but I do not see, have not seen any. Oh, looky there. There's a soffit vent all the way across the back here. I've been asking for that thing forever. I have. And I want to go back up here and close to the edge if you saw the attic video, but it does look like the water heater plenum does come up through the roof. It's just tight up in there. I could not see it from the attic side. We got a bent rain gutter over there. We sure do. Moving on along. Level grading. Level grading. We got a little bit of a slope right here. But this is level to almost negative pitch. Coming along this side. This is level across the back. What's our grading like over here? Okay. Got level across the back. In here, around the corner. That's negative, actually. Coming on along. Crawl space access. I heard this is not very beneficial. I heard the one on the other side is not very beneficial. This crawl space access, my understanding, is this is the one that gets you to the show. This is an in-use cover. Right here. What I'm talking about. Bubble covers. And this is GFCI protected. I've already done this. I remember doing it. This is GFCI protected, unlike the other ones. This is the fence that where we started everything. So we only got one soffit vent across the back. That's kind of an unusual arrangement. This say, and I can't get out.